Oh, geez, that's a nice space.
Everything floating around.
That's aeronautical. That's like all the atmospheric stuff.
Aerospace covers it.
Satellites and stuff.
You know what? The light not gonna be there for the bad thing.
Yeah.
I have to? Is it required?
Why not?
No, but go. Please go. Please come on,
I
man.
already have to refine the.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
We
true.
have two
But you
teachers.
should practice with them.
Yeah.
What's
Come on,
that?
man.
They gotta get used to hearing you.
Okay, so there's a lot to cover today. I've never, in 2 years and 4 classes, I've never finished this lesson in one period. So we're gonna try. So you're gonna work with your partner next to you. Just like debugging, it helps to have a second set of eyes and a second brain to think about everything, okay? So I am recording this because some people in the first class weren't there, but I forgot to record that one, so I can record this one. So no, it's just scratch paper that you're gonna use to write things. So we're gonna talk about lists. And let's see if I can actually click on this. Yeah. What's a list? So with your partner, brainstorm a couple of lists that you encounter every day. And I'll give you checklists. Okay, I'll give you another one. When you go to McDonald's, they have a list up on the board that says, like, you get a Big Mac for this amount. You can get a quarter pounder. You can get chicken nuggets. You can get a chicken sandwich. That is a list of items. So, okay. So what other kind of lists of information do you guys encounter? Routines is a good one. Yeah. Your schedule could be considered a list, right? Like, yeah. Okay, so we kind of see lists all the time, even if we don't know their lists. Like, you might be a Holly captain and you have a list of students, or I don't know. There's a billion examples. If you really sat and thought about it, you would come up with a lot of different lists. So we're not going to use baggies because I'm tired of killing plastic trees. But you're just gonna draw on your paper, or take note on your paper. So I'm gonna use a whatchamacallit, a big square to represent a large baggie, and this will be the list. Okay, and then normally I would give you these little snack baggies or sandwich-sized baggies to be items in the list, but you can draw smaller squares to represent those items. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, just keep this in your mind, and you can draw these out later. But you already know this part. You already know that variables are the baggies, and you can put a value in a variable. If you reassign a value to the baggie, whatever's in it gets thrown away, and you put the new value in it, right? And so, what if you have a lot of information? Okay, I could make 7 variables for 7 days of the week, or I could make one list. I could make a list. I could make 100 variables for the 100 students that I have, or I can make one list of 100 students. Correct. It's like a variable that holds multiple pieces of information. So this is how we create and then access the data. Okay. So go ahead and draw out, like I have here, your big list, and then at least, 2 to 4 items. Put 2 to 4 items within the list. Okay. Yep. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a list with your partner. Make a list that holds between 2 to 4 variables. Okay. Make a list that holds 2 to 4 values. Okay. And then you can, here's an example, right? Remember that lists are very similar to variables. So when you name them, you can't have spaces. You can't start with a number, and all the capitalization matters. Okay. For your small boxes, you're going to number them from 0, 1, 2, and so on. Okay. In computer science, we always start at 0. Okay, so what do you guys have? School materials, good list. You started numbering from 0, 1, 2, great. Okay. Now, if you're putting strings in there, make sure you have quotes around your strings. Okay, it looks good. It looks good. So what's your list? You got a couple of, you have a routine list. Okay, nice. Okay. All right, nice. School bag list. Movie list, yeah. The other class really like that, and maybe you're copying them. Maybe that's their paper. Okay, so you should have made this. There's a couple of terms that you want to know, and I'm going to try to use the right terms. Okay, so your list is made up of elements. In the past, we called the small baggies variables, but now we're calling these elements. Okay, so you've got 2, 3, 4 elements, and each element has an index number. Okay, the index number starts at 0 and counts upwards. The length of the list is how many elements it contains. Okay, I didn't really create a list while I was walking around, but my list would have a length of 3, 0, 1, and 2. So my values are 0, 1, and 2, but the length is 3. Okay, because we start counting at 0, it's always 1 short. Okay, and that's very important. Okay, so we could fold up all the bags, place them inside the big Ziploc bag if we were doing that. And the reason we would do that is sometimes you want to do something with the whole list, and sometimes you want to do something with just one of the elements in the list. Okay, does that make sense? So sometimes, like you have, let's see, Dane has the contents of his backpack. Sometimes he wants to do something with the whole backpack, and sometimes he just wants to do something with the folder inside of the backpack, right? So you'll have different programs that want to do different things. Okay, so here's the code. Let's actually make it. So a list is very much like a variable. So we're actually going to use the var command to create the list. The way you know this is a list is it has square brackets. So var my list equals square brackets, and each element is separated by a comma. Okay. You would almost never do this where you're mixing strings and numbers in a list in real life. Like if your list has strings, they'll probably all be strings. And if they have numbers, they'll probably all be numbers, okay? But for example and for learning purposes, we're gonna mix and match numbers and strings. Okay. Okay, so here's your directions on that side. You might have done it already. Write the code to create your list. Var space, what was the list that you made? Equals, square brackets, and then put all of your elements in there. Okay.
Which three? Wait, what do you mean? Where's the 4 come from?
Four is just the second element put in the list.
So it goes by, so let's say we have like up to 4, we just say 4.
No. So you are saying var school equals square brackets. So I can't read your writing.
Oh, yeah, that's 3.
What are they? What are they? What is that?
Pencil, binder, watermark.
Okay, so var school equals pencil, comma, binder, comma, bottle. Yeah, okay, because you're creating the list and you're putting all of your elements in there. Okay, I think you guys got it. Okay, no. No, so you're gonna put var nighttime equals brush hair, brush teeth, close eyes. Brush hair, comma, brush teeth, comma, close eyes. The numbering is automatic. Okay. Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
in one.
Yeah. Right. Good. Good. Right. All in one set of square brackets. Okay. Good. 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 Yeah. Okay. The numbering is all automatic, right? The first item in the list is going to be index 0. Second item in the list is going to be index 1. First item, index 0. Second item, index 1. Okay. So let's see. So suppose we want to now get to an item, an element within the list. The list name, square bracket, the index number. So my list at index 1, so would be whatever you have there. So lunch food at index 1 is the second item in the list called pizza. Okay. So make sure you always count from 0, because that is the number one way you're gonna miss questions on the test or the AP exam or in your programs. You're gonna wonder why you're not getting the right answers, okay? All right, so let's take it one step further, expressions, okay? Just like we can add a number and a variable, we can add a number and a list element, okay? So 3 plus my numbers at index 1 is, no, my numbers at index 1 is 20. So you just replace it and then you do the math, 23. Okay. You can add 2 of these together. So my number is 0 at index 0 plus my numbers at index 2, 10 plus 25. Okay, not rocket science. Okay. Mostly anything you can do with variables, you can do with lists. It's just that you have to put in the index number. Kind of. So a normal variable will only take 1 item. A list could take as many as you want. Okay. Okay, so.
Oh, so you can like add a list together. Move it like a slider, grab that.
Sorta. Okay. Okay, so what if we want to change whatever was in our list? So just like your variable name equals a value, your list name at index, whatever number, equals a value. Okay, so let's run through this. So we're going to create a list called my numbers with these three values, 10, 20, 25. Then my numbers at index 0 will get 5. So 10 gets thrown away and we put 5 in there. Okay, just like a variable, except it's like a list of variables, right? So if you run this one, what do you get in the list? 30 instead of 25, right? So 5, 20, 30. Okay, run this with your group. It usually helps to write this down. Okay, so if nothing else, you're going to write down your list and then start replacing items. Okay, this one you could probably do in your head, but they change over time, so you need to make sure you're running the code line by line. That's not correct. That's not correct. Okay, let me just do this one. Cat overwrites which item? Hat. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you count from 0. Okay, so read the rest of it. It's easier to write it down and then cross out right below.
Because 0 is. Look at those lines. So the first line, there's one line is packed.
Whatever's in the list overrides what's in the front. Or is it whatever's in the front overrides the list?
Whatever's later in the code overwrites what is there. Okay, got it? Talk to your partner if you're having. Okay, so let's check. Let's see if you got it. 15, cat, 30.
That's not what I got.
Okay. Did any of you get it? You got it? Okay. Ty, did you get it? You're pretty good at that. You got it? Okay. How did we get it? Okay. My stuff at index 1 becomes cat 20, cat, pow 5. My stuff at index 2 becomes my stuff at index 1. So 20, cat, 5. My stuff at index 0 becomes gets my stuff at index 3 plus 10, 15. 15, cat, 5. My stuff at index 3 gets my stuff 0, 15, plus my stuff 0, 15, 30. So 15, cat, 30. You're just updating the list. Yep. Okay. All right, one more. And then it'll get really hard. Isn't that terrible? I can just laugh and I can just laugh. Okay. So whenever you see an expression, you do the math. So it would be my stuff at index 1.
Totally complicated.
I can't think of an example, but I'm sure it could have a use. Okay, so do you have dog, tree, 3, 10 in line 1? Dog, tree, 3, 10?
So 2 minus 3 would equal what?
Yes. Okay, what is this? 3. Okay, so just say my stuff 3.
So everything's. So it's just 3. Equals 0.
Dog, tree, 3, dog. My stuff at index 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. So this one becomes dog.
Wait, index.
My stuff 0, my stuff 3. This one becomes dog.
Wait, I thought this is my stuff 2. Yeah. 10 is 3.
My stuff 2. What does that equal to? 3, right? It equals to 3. 3 is the index. 0, 1, 2, 3.
I got you. So everything in
So
the list is in the
every
index.
line, you have to evaluate every line by line, right? That's how code runs. Okay, so you kind of get it, but it's difficult to keep it in your head. So I still recommend writing it down. Okay, so let's talk about changing your list then. Okay, so we've changed it by adding or replacing items, but what if we wanted to add an item? Okay, or remove an item. We'll start with removing. So remove item, the name of the list, comma, the index number. Okay, that removes that particular item, and then they all shift over. Okay, right, so the index change. Okay, so remove item, my numbers at index 1, remove this. And once that's gone, this needs to move over. And if there were 10 more things, they all change index. Then it would just be 10, 25. Because 20 is, oh, and then this last one? Yeah, correct. Last one, we removed the 10, and so 25 is at index 0. Okay. Yes, yes.
So you see the very first item was all 3. Instead of doing remove 1, what if we just did like 2? Would that just take out 25 and keep the other 2 in the same place?
If you,
The very first one, the one with 10, 20, 25.
this command will only remove 1 item.
Yeah, but if you change the number at the end,
So if we change this to 2,
that'll take out 25.
it would take out 25.
And
Yeah,
keep the others.
and keep the others in the
Okay,
same spot.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Okay, so now what if we want to add an item? Append means to add at the end. Append end. Okay, append end, append end. So just like removing, we're going to have the list name, comma, the item we want to add. You don't need an index number because it's always going to go to the end. Okay,
What if you want to put the appended item in the middle of this?
I'll tell you next.
Because it's always, you just keep adding more and more index items.
Right. So this is going to be a very common thing for you to add items. Okay. Like if you were,
Do you have a counter for this? Like a counter for-
okay, you remember making that reminders app, that to-do list app? No. Okay.
I do, but I hate it.
So that's when you learned the new line function how to make a new line. So you put the reminder and then you made a new line and then you have the next reminder. Okay, well, we could put them all into a list instead of putting them, on separate lines. So, okay, so we create a list. We create a list and we know it's a list because it has square brackets. And then we append my numbers. We append this list. Whatever item goes at the end. So that's 10, 50. So if we add 100, what do we get? If we append item 10, 50, 100. Okay, easy. That's the easiest one. I don't know why they don't start with this one. Is that right? Like, I don't know. Anyway, they want to make you feel good before you do this one. Okay, inserting an item. You need three things: the name of the list, comma, the index number, comma, the item you're inserting. Okay. Tell me if I'm in the way. So we're creating a list with two values. We're inserting an item into this list at index 1 with a value of 20. So the 20 is going to get index 1. 20 gets index 1. Okay? And if 20 gets index 1, everything else shifts down.
Same way as deleting, everything shifts forward.
Correct. It's the opposite of deleting. Everything shifts the other way. Okay? So if we insert another item into this list at index 1, 100 will be at index 1. So what are the others? 10, 100, 20, 50. All right? Okay? Now that you know all the other stuff, this one.
Yeah, we went back to those confusing things.
Okay, so here we go. With your partner, run this code. You will not be able to. It's much easier if you write it down.
Just try and do it like that and see how bad it is.
Okay,
Just try.
I'll try to do it in my head too. I get these wrong like part of the time. So this is exactly like the test. Like it'll give you a set of, and then yeah, and then which one? Yeah. Oh yeah.
20 bang how, wait, 20 bang how, 5 and 1. No, wait, no, that's already removed. So we got removed.
Okay.
Nope.
20 hat pow 5, 20 hat pow 5 10, 20 pow 5 10, 20 pow bang 5 10. 20 pow bang 5 10. Yeah. Okay. So if you don't have that, you probably like maybe instead of putting this here, you put it here because you thought 1 2 instead of 0 1 2. That's a super common mistake. Yeah.
Does the list determine whether the number is bigger than the list that it can have, so it counts as one of those inside indexes rather than a placement of the index?
No, I don't even know what you're asking, but I don't think so.
So like it says append as 5 10 on that. How does it know it's not placement value 5 in?
Because the append command does not need or
So
take
just add
a
it.
right.
But remove item shows the placement. So,
Correct.
okay.
Correct. Okay. Last one, I think. I can't remember, but I think this is the last one. Well, there's two videos that I don't think we're going to get to be able to watch. Okay.
The answer's all scary.
No, there's one list.
What's the two after the list?
The index number.
So well, just do it one at a time. Don't do the whole string at once if you're doing it. Just do one at a time. In a single line.
Okay. So a pen item is going to take two parameters, if you will. The name of the list. We're always talking about the same list right now. But remember, when there's multiple lists, make sure you add them to the right list. Okay, anyway. And then you're going to add the thing. This is what you're adding to this list. So what is this here? What is this?
List to list.
What is this? Okay, what is this? What is this? What is it? Evaluate it.
That's the index. The index.
Oh. He lists at index 2, 0, 1, 2. What is that? What is this? Potato. Okay, so you're adding potato at the end here. Now you're going to insert an item at where?
To go. And then, so go to go and then remove two. So it's go. Wait, no, 0, 1, 2.
Okay, so you should get this. To go potato. Okay, did you not get that? brains are full. And that's the new thing that we're learning. Yeah. Okay, so let's just review and see if Brenda, it's probably Brendan actually, but let's see. Why did you go back? Play. It's not super helpful when it's playing in my AirPods. But here you go. Oh, no, here you go. There you go. Oh, wait, maybe it's up here. Yeah, let me change this one. Come on, move. Oh, what's wrong with you? Okay.
Planning after the day, brainstorming ideas for a project, or choosing songs for a party. You'll probably want to make a list. Lists help us stay organized by ordering all the random pieces of information, one after the other, in a single place. The same principle applies when we write programs that include many pieces of related information. Variables are useful for holding a simple piece of information, but as we collect more information, keeping variables organized can be complicated. Everybody's name in class or in entire school. It's impractical to trace hundreds or thousands of individual variables, and impossible keep track ahead of time. In programming, a list is a container used to keep similar pieces of data organized in one place. You can think of it like a container that grows or shrinks with the number of items it has inside. The main items you can do for this are add or replace items, access items, and remove items. In JavaScript, a list is called an array. You may hear list or array used interchangeably, but we'll refer to it as a list to keep it simple. A basic example of a list will be all your contacts on your phone, in your email, etc. Let's see how this would work. To start off, you need to create a list. You do this by using square brackets, and then you just look like this. You can also create a list with some initial values in it. Just write out the values separated by commas inside the square brackets. For example, you can make a list of numbers like this, or a list of names, as in a contact list, like this. Just like how you can assign a number or a string to a variable, like bar x gets 5, you can also assign a list to a variable to use it later, like this. You can think of a list as a container of numbered slots. Each slot can have one value in it.
Okay. Easy enough, right?
To access an individual item from your list, write out the name of the list and the number of the slot you want to access, like this. This means give me the item in the list names, sitting in slot number 2. The official term for slot number is index. So we would read names, left bracket, 2, right bracket, as names at index 2. You might have noticed that the first index in the list is 0. In programming, we usually start counting at 0, which means that names at index 0 is the first item of the list, and names at index 2 is actually the third item in the list. When your program runs, the computer will look up the current value that lives at the given index of the list, just like the computer looks up the current value of a variable. For example, if you have a list of numbers called numList, you can create an expression like this. Bar sum gets numList at index 2 plus numList at index 5. The value stored in index 2 is 40, and the value stored at index 5 is 60. So the variable sum is assigned a value of 100.
All right, that's it. Yeah, we made it. All right, that's it. I'm going to stop sharing. Hopefully you learned something.